Hi folks, it's Mark Smith with Family Tree. I apologize for the shady lighting. It's getting to be pretty close to 5 o'clock here, and it's a little shady. I am going to talk about Chapter 1 today of my new book called Becoming an Alchemist: How to Transform the Trauma and Shattering and Narcissistic Abuse into Pure Gold. So I'm doing this live just because it's easier to upload. Yesterday I did a live show and a bunch of y'all got on, and it's been pointed out, you know how you're walking a dog and they see a squirrel and they're like, "Squirrel!" It's like I'll be doing a poem and like crying, and like Jackie or Robert or somebody will come on the show and I'm like, "What's up, Cowabunga?" So I have a bad connection now, and it's keeping me from seeing if anybody's jumping on. So maybe that'll cure my squirrel issue that I had yesterday. I just don't want to get too distracted. I love it when you guys interact with each other, and I love it when you say hi, and it's just great to hear from you. But I want to focus just a little bit here. Not. I'll probably do the squirrel thing. I'm just going to try not to. So the work on the book is going exceedingly well. The book is writing itself. I've got about a third of the book done. It's just flowing from my fingers. It's just, I've never experienced anything like this in my writing career. So again, becoming an alchemist. Yesterday, JC hadn't heard of that word alchemy, so I want to define it again. And the definition, there's 3 parts and they're all just killer. Alchemy: an ancient form of chemistry concerned principally with discovering methods for transmuting baser metals into gold. And that's what the book is about. It's about transmuting our pain, our trauma, our narcissistic abuse, our woundedness, our shit, our mud, our dirt, into the gold of thriving. And so I'm going to start with the chapter I read for you guys last time, and I'm going to get into my story. I'm going to talk a lot about the 50 symptoms of narcissistic abuse. I'm going to talk about the one main concept, the one paradigm shifting concept that will help you turn your shit into gold. And I'm going to focus on that. That's going to be the heart and soul of this book. Then I'm going to talk about what gold looks like. I have 50 symptoms of a golden life to end the book. So the book's all mapped out. It's going to be really cool. The second definition of alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. How cool is that? And that's what I'm saying is recovery is a seemingly magical process of transformation. And the last definition, coming from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is finding a universal solvent or an elixir of life. And that's what recovery is, dudes. It's a elixir. It's a substance. It's a way for us to get better and to heal and to live long, thriving lives. So I'm going to read a little bit of Chapter 1. I'm not going to read this whole book for y'all in my videos. Nobody will buy the book. I want you to buy the book. So I'm just going to give you a little nibble, a little taste. Chapter 1, just an introduction to narcissistic abuse. And I start Chapter 1 with a quote from the great Peter Levine. If you all haven't read Peter Levine, in my mind, in a lot of people's minds, Peter Levine is the expert in the whole planet on healing and treating trauma. And if you don't know who he is, do a Google search and watch some of his videos. He has this amazing book called Waking the Tiger. I got to meet Peter Levine at a conference in Boston last year, and it was an honor to shake the man's hand. But Peter Levine says, in response to threat and injury, animals, including humans, execute biologically based non-conscious action patterns that prepare them to meet the threat and defend themselves. The very structure of trauma, including activation, dissociation, and freezing, are based on the evolution of survival behaviors. So trauma is instinctual. It is biologically based. It's in the very core and the very fibers of your body. And he studies animals in order to understand the nature of trauma. Brilliant man. So check out Peter Levine, Waking the Tiger. Peter Levine says trauma is like there's a tiger in the room. It's like there's a tiger in the room. And it's that terrifying. And that's been my experience. So I'm just going to read chapter 1, and I'll stop and comment as I go. Abandonment trauma wounds are wickedly, viciously, horrifically painful. Not telling y'all anything that you don't know. Maybe y'all aren't coming on commenting because you're wanting to keep me from having the squirrel effect. So you can comment if you want to. I'm going to just try not to have the little squirrel thing going. I believe that narcissistic abuse is the worst pain known to mankind by far. It is jarring. It is soul murdering. It is heart raping. It is bruising, suffocating, relentless. What's up, Robert? Torturous business. If you have had to drink from its cold, dark, bitter, putrid waters, you know that my limited, clumsy words don't even come close to describing the depth of pain and anguish and torture and abandonment that is narcissistic abuse syndrome. Hi, Jan. How you doing? You didn't know we were going to be hanging out this week, did you? I have in this book an awful, tragic story to tell, but it's also ultimately redemptive. Hey, Denny. Ultimately redemptive story to share with you about the gale force destructive / healing power of narcissistic abuse syndrome. This section, this chapter 1, I actually wrote very early on in my trauma, in my shattering. I didn't even know what narcissistic abuse was when I wrote this particular chapter. But I wanted to write when I was freshly and rawly shattered, because I thought it would be more compelling and more lifelike for all of you, just like Robert just said about dream shattering, dream destroying. So I've been holding on to these early chapters for when I was physically and emotionally ready to complete the project. And yesterday was a rough day for me. Because I wrote chapter 2 yesterday. And chapter 2 was when I tell the story of what happened. I'm calling this my former fiancée, Susan. And it was really hard to write. And it was, I felt I had a difficult time sleeping. Just some trauma wounds were reopened. But I got a really good night's sleep, and I woke up fresh and energized. And I mowed through editing that chapter today, and I laid out the whole structure of the rest of the book. So I'm good. But I did write this section a while ago, and I've been holding on to these until I was ready. I'm ready. This book has been written for the brokenhearted. My people. My brothers and sisters in our shared narcissistic abuse, trauma, shattering. Believe me when I tell you that there are way many people out there, more qualified experts on PTSD than me. But you know what I bring to the table is I've been through it. And it's raw. I've been through it and I've battled it with a lot of courage and a lot of strength. So the first thing is I've been through it, really nasty ass version of it. Number 2 is I've been a therapist for 30 years. So I got a little bit of clinical knowledge and experience. Number 3 is I really understand healing trauma and what you need to do with your body. Number 4, I'm getting coached now in really understanding more about the narcissist. That was perhaps an area that I was weak in, but it isn't going to be an area that I'm weak in anymore, because I've been working with one of the most brilliant minds on the whole planet when it comes to understanding narcissists, and that's H.G. Tudor. So, and then the last thing is my message for my whole 30-year career is understanding your pain, understanding why it happened, and transmuting a sense of feeling victimized into ultimately being able to heal. That's what I've been teaching for 30 years. And throughout everything that I searched for, honestly, the thing that helped me the most was that. It was actually the thing that I had been sharing my whole career. I searched so many different places. I read so many different books. And the thing ultimately that was most helpful, besides Jackson McKenzie's book, Psychopath Free, which put me on the right path to begin with, was this concept that I'm going to share in the book about transmuting your mud and your shit into gold. Where am I in reading the book here? What I write is, the unique gift I have to offer you is a step-by-step, blow-by-blow accounting of my severe trauma wounding, and more importantly, the redemptive, intimate, step-by-step process that I've journeyed through to survive and recover from my profound wounding. Thank God for YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. What a miracle. I walked out to the balcony holding a stand and an iPad and a microphone. It's a television studio you can hold in your hand. It's amazing. I knew early on that I could best tell my story not just with the written word, but with my voice and my face and my eyes and my heart and my tears. And that's true. Y'all get it. If you aren't familiar with my story and you haven't seen 50 Symptoms of Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome that I posted on December 13th, 2015, watch that. That'll catch you up with. I think it's the best video out there about describing the symptoms of narcissistic abuse. I think YouTube thinks that as well, because it's gotten an awful lot of views. But what this book will do, it will organize and tie together everything I've learned as an alchemist who turns the horror of narcissistic abuse into healing and into blessing. There is no pain like narcissistic abuse. I had been a therapist for 30 years, but I had no clue that anybody could possibly feel or live through the depth of the oppressive amount of pain that I've wrestled with for the past 23 months. I had no idea that pain like this existed. I hadn't really seen it in the lives. My stand is about ready to fall over here. So sorry about that. I'm gonna try to hold it. So I share the story. Thanks, Robert. I share the story to help all the lost, hurting, lonely souls out there who continue to suffer a great deal from trauma, who continue to suffer from panic attacks, depression, loss, infidelity wounds, abandonment, oppression, attachment, re-wounding, anxiety, cognitive distortions, spiraling thoughts, anxiety, cognitive dissonance, suicidal ideation, and hopelessness. That's a lot of bad shit. Think of me, my friends, as a war correspondent who's covering the war, who's had a few of his own limbs blown off during battle as he tried to report the war that you yourself are fighting in. I'm the war correspondent. Got a leg blown off, got an arm blown off. I'm still alive and fighting though. And I'm reporting on the war, my friends. No matter how utterly destroyed and annihilated you may be, I promise you that this book will instill hope and help and direction and community, and most importantly, some much needed relief from your unspeakable suffering. So that's about all I had to share with you today. I'm going to be in touch every day as I write, and I'm going to give you a little nibble of the book every day. The book is writing itself. It'll be done by the end of the week. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Thank you, Denny. So, God bless y'all. I hope you're blessed, having a good day. And I will be in touch with more chunks, more goodies, more nibbles of this book. Hey, Mitchie. Am I saying it right, Mitchie? So I did pretty good on the squirrel thing, I think. I did better. Y'all helped me with that. But, yeah, I am doing more live shows. They're so much easier to upload, and they're so simple. And what I found is doing a live show, it brightens some people's day. My brother, Robert, it brightened his day. And it's easier for me, and if it gives y'all a little unexpected blessing and surprise, then it's all the better. So that's all from the beach. Love y'all, and hope you have a great day, and God bless.